How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great and moist. Welcome back to another muy bueno moist video for your enjoyment. Go down below and say hello to Hades and subscribe to the channel to become a sinner today, my boys, and join the member community, get access to extra content, extra videos, and get a chance for promotion and shoutouts and all that good stuff, and support my music. Go down and download it. My beautiful sinners, we are going to be discussing something I've wanted to talk about for a long time. That's right, doomers and Coomers, okay? We must stop doomers and Coomers, okay? Doomers and Coomers must be stopped, okay? That's what I want to talk about today. Now, if you've been on the internet in the last couple of years, you will notice the rise of the doomer meme, okay? And you may not know anything about this, so let me just quickly tell you if you're not aware. So the doomer is basically the meme character of our current generation, of the people who were born in the late 90s to early 2000s and were basically raised on technology. I talk about this all the time on my channel about the dystopian future we are heading towards, and I try and combat that and fight back against the dystopia with my videos, and I talk about all kinds of subjects with robotics, AI, VR, and all that kind of stuff. But the doomer is basically someone who has accepted their future as this dystopian age and has accepted, the internet as their new mother and papa, as their new parent, okay, and basically is feeling very down with life, very nihilistic, very pessimistic, very narcissistic as well. A doomer is someone who has given up on life and basically just views life as meaningless. He doesn't think that, there's any meaning in living and in human life, okay? And a lot of people resonate with the doomer character. It's not just a funny meme. And it's not really surprising because in this modern life now, it's very hard to be optimistic and to have, joy in your life because, with what's going on currently, we're all trapped at home. We can't do anything real. We are even more stuck in this digital dystopian age than normal. So I just wanted to talk about doomers and Coomers, okay? So first, let's talk about doomers and the problem with doomers, why you shouldn't be a doomer, why you have to stop being a doomer if you are one, okay? So there's this idea of nihilism and pessimism with the doomer philosophy, because you see that the universe and human life has no meaning, and that we are constantly, because we have so much access to information now with technology and the rapid improvement of technology, and we have all these big dystopian companies and corporations that want to control our lives, and governments, I talk about that all the time. There's always a hierarchy system. We can't fight against it. We don't have to join the establishment. There is a breakaway point where we don't have to. We can return to nature. But the doomer has accepted their life, that, they're going to merge with technology, that this is their future, that they're just going to enter this future age of digital interacting and everything will become digital, okay? So let me just give you a few examples why this is the wrong mentality to have. First of all, if you give up and you don't have any fight in you, then there's no way that you can battle against the giant hierarchy system of the people who do want to control you. There's no chance of winning a fight if you don't even fight to start with, okay? Second of all, the point of having no meaning in life, the idea of a meaningless existence, perhaps the universe was created, without any meaning. I'm not religious, but I do believe that life does have meaning because we are conscious beings, okay? And you give your own meaning to life. That's how you should view it. We as human beings have the ability to give our lives meaning. So this nihilistic attitude of a doomer is very destructive, and it can be very toxic because it just brings it just gives society this feeling of no hope and no chance to improve themselves, and the doomer is content with just, living just his basic lifestyle, not trying to improve himself, not trying to fight for a better future, and that philosophy is just very dangerous and wrong in my opinion. So that's why I think we need to stop doomers, we need to stop the doomer philosophy, and that's why doomers need to be stopped. If we don't try and better ourselves, if we don't try and get up in the morning and do something with our lives, that can actually bring us happiness, because, most people just want to be happy in life, and it's very hard to find happiness. No one talks about it because everyone's afraid of talking about positivity and happiness, but it is very hard to find happiness. Everyone struggles with happiness. I struggle with happiness. I'm sure you struggle with happiness. It's very difficult to find what makes you happy in life, but, there's a big difference between just being content and being happy. If you're truly content, that is kind of the best form of happiness, but just accepting things as they are if they're not in a good state, that's not the way to live, and the doomer philosophy is a very dangerous thing. So I would highly look into Stoicism and Buddhism. If you're a doomer and you want to find a way out, just read into philosophy, engage in art, engage in, making something better for yourself or for the people around you, or engage in something that really interests you and engages you and makes you feel like you do have a meaning in life, and just try and find happiness where you can. But this idea of just giving up, which is the doomer philosophy, I can understand the nihilist attitude and the cynical attitude. I used to be like that myself, but it doesn't actually help or get you anywhere in life, and it will not help you and your mental health. So, boys and girls, that brings us on to the second point that I wanted to talk about, the second disgusting philosophy that is very destructive, and that is the philosophy of the Coomer. So, doomers and Coomers, okay? Coomers are kind of a sub-genre of doomers. Because we are living in this internet age, it's very difficult to find human connections like it used to be. It's much more difficult to connect with someone. Time for some moisture, a little moisture break. Oh, moisture. Slip it into me like a human. A whale. Whales are human. Whales are beautiful. Ooh, humans are beautiful. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm insane. I'm insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Okay. Can't do that. Lick a little hole, that will make you happy. Okay, so it's very hard to find human connections nowadays in this post-human society where we are becoming more ingrained with technology, which is not a good thing. I talk about that all the time. Check out my dystopian series. But a Coomer, like I said, is kind of similar to doomers, and what I mean by that is because they can't find interactions. The most important interaction is interaction with a lover, is with someone of the opposite sex or the same sex. It doesn't matter, whichever way you float is fine, but is having a partner, a lover, someone you love and someone who loves you back, okay? Not in the same way a parent can love you, not in the same way a friend can love you. Love is a very human thing to experience, and it's very unique to the human species. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and it might just be a chemical reaction, but if it lasts and if you find it, then that really is something special, and that really is something magical, okay? Maybe, I don't know. I'm lucky enough that I do have a partner that I do love. And obviously not every relationship is going to be good, but you have to work on it like you would work on anything, okay? But the Coomer, okay, has the doomer philosophy, and they've become so used to not even trying to interact with anyone because it's so socially scary now. And yeah, I understand that anxiety, that social anxiety now, because especially when you've been separated from people for so long, especially now, and especially when you're using most of your time on digital technology, because it's crazy. We're literally living in the future. Most of our time is spent with technology. Coomer is someone who has given up, okay, and someone who's given up on trying to find the love, trying to find interaction with a real person. And you can meet people through technology. In fact, most people do. But the Coomer is someone who has given up, and all that they do is look at girls or guys, mostly girls, because it's usually men who are Coomers online, and they become usually obsessed with a certain person, or a celebrity, or influencer, or whatever you want to call them. A lot of these Coomers get super hyper focused on an Instagram model or a Twitch thought or something like that, and they just become so hyper focused. They donate money, and all they do all day is they jerk their little jerky, if you know what I'm saying, to the influencer, to the streamer, to whoever they've become obsessed with, and that's how we've seen this weird culture of simps emerge. You know, people who give their actual money to people that they've never met, mostly these streamer girls, because they are Coomers and that's all that they do. They have given up trying to actually meet real people and starting real relationships, so they just interact through a digital interface where the other person doesn't even know of their existence, and some of them get so caught up in it and become a simp and actually donate money. It's crazy, but this is what our culture has now bred, is this weird community of people who are lost, Coomers, who are just always constantly just addicted to jerking the little ding-dongs to, you know, stuff online and to people that they've never interacted with. And, you know, watching not safe for work videos, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't say it. You know what I'm trying to say. You know, that doesn't fill your life with happiness, and if you get addicted to that, then that can be a very dangerous thing, because you're seeing something that's not real, really. It's just a production, and it's very destructive to the human soul, in my opinion, and the psyche. But of course everyone does it, but these people get super hyper focused on it, and that becomes their life, and that's even more destructive because it almost breeds a hatred for that relationship, and it just becomes a whole toxic mess. So if you start falling into that pattern, you really need to just try and meet someone. And you know, there are people out there who try so hard and they can never find anyone, and that's very sad. But then you just have to learn to love yourself and try and, you know, maybe buy a dog or do something. You know, you just have to find a way to try and combat that, because that is very dangerous. Don't become obsessed with someone that you've never met. If you like someone's content or you like a certain streamer, of course support them, but not because you're doing it in a way. Don't do it in a way that you're obsessed with them by, you know, actually feeling like you're in love with them and jerking your little doozy, jerking your little hot dog, because that's just very sick and it's very crazy. I mean, this is a crazy world that we live in now. This is what our generation is, so God knows what future generations are going to be like. We really have to figure out how to use this correctly, otherwise it's going to be a very confused world in the future, my sinners, and that's what I always try and talk about, and that's something that we really have to think about, and that's why doomers need to be stopped, that's why Coomers need to be stopped. And if you're a Coomer, just try and, you know, even just message a girl or a guy, do something, or just, you know, try and form relationships, even if it is done digitally, so you can meet them physically. That's fine, you know, but getting hyper-focused on someone that you've never met or doing something because it gives you pleasure for the sake of pleasure is a very destructive mentality to have, and that's why I said look into Buddhism and Stoicism, because that teaches you that just chasing pleasure over time is actually not good for you and actually makes you a very weak and sad person. And that's all I have to say about this, my sinners. I hope you found this video useful and entertaining, and if you did, smash like, subscribe, share this video with all of your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Have yourselves a great day. Bye bye.